W
T L.
It's time! W
T L.
I think we got a show. Oh yeah, we got a show. W
T L.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Class, and joined by
The J.O.
the J.O. Yes, sir. The J.O. Nebraska's on a roll. I mean, I don't know. It all depends, and it has for the last 3 weeks with the Huskers. When did you get in on it? If you were betting on the Huskers to cover, when did you get that line?
Yeah, 100%. And it's starting to feel like maybe you should just get in on it early in the week.
Yep.
Don't wait because they're going to break your heart otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, and it feels like, a lot of times you see a line even out. If you see that movement, come in after an opening line, like we're seeing again this week, and we'll get into that, you see the sharp bettors or vice versa, the public money come in and level that out.
All right.
That just hasn't happened for Nebraska.
No.
It's just been climbing and climbing. The line will open up at 7.5 and it'll close at 10.5. And that's what we had last week. And you had a lot of reasons. I put out a lot of reasons why I thought they would cover. I wasn't counting on a Dylan Raiola 3 interception, even a pick 6. Matt Rule, he's getting into stats. He must be a listener. He talked about once you throw a pick 6, you only have a 7% chance to win that game. So like, and the fact that Nebraska was able to once again make a game-winning drive offensively and make a game-saving stop defense. That's 2 weeks in a row the defense made a fourth quarter stop. So, yeah, it wasn't pretty, but I liked it a lot. I like it a lot.
I actually have it on the record that Coach might listen to the show. So
Okay.
I don't know for a fact if he does or doesn't, but he might. Dylan, there was a couple throws there. Those picks, that was on him.
Yeah, and he's not denying that.
No.
Like they were just bad decisions.
Yeah, sometimes he's out there, he's running for his life, and it's like, all right, you're just trying to make something happen.
Right.
Sorry, buddy. It's just get back to the tape. But still, he's still making some plays that you just know QB1 has to make at Nebraska.
Yeah.
And our defense, holy cow.
Yeah.
I mean, continues to be, in some areas, elite.
Right. Yeah. The pass defense was kind of what we're talking about going into it. And now it feels like that front four is catching up. It just feels like a complete unit. And I've heard a lot of takes from the national guys that Dylan Raiola's performance reminded him more of like an NFL style type of a quarterback.
Right.
Due to the fact that he played bad in the first half, a couple of spots, and the coaching staff kept giving him the ball, kept having him pull the trigger, and he needed to in that fourth quarter. And man, did he make some throws that, let's be honest, has the Nebraska quarterback ever made some of those throws?
No.
People want to bring up Jerry Taggy. Okay, you're going back quite a ways
That's a
there.
long time.
But I don't know if he was spinning it quite like that.
I mean, Zach Taylor could sling it, but not
That's
quite
true.
the way Dylan is. And Dylan, the way you bring up the NFL thing, the NFL game it's a lot mental.
Yeah.
And Dylan seems like doesn't get caught up in that. He just, if something goes wrong, he moves on to the next play, goes on to the next series. What do we got to do next? It doesn't really stick with him. At least it appears it doesn't really stick with him, it's a good sign.
It's a real good sign, and yeah, you're seeing that confidence. We've heard that word a lot by the coaching staff past couple of weeks, and I think for good reason. I think this is a pretty transparent, pretty upfront and honest coaching staff we have, starting with Matt Rule, and the word that keeps getting brought up is confidence, and I think you're starting to see it grow. All the year 3 stuff is starting to come to fruition, right? So let's get into this week, as we have a lot of factors here, but all in all, it's going to be a Friday night kickoff, Friday, October 17th at Huntington Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. We're taking on the Goldie. We're taking on Goldie. Minnesota has had Nebraska's number. Let's not take any bones about it. I mean, last 5 games, right? 5 in a row.
PJ Fleck, he's 6-1 against Nebraska.
It doesn't matter what the point spread is. Doesn't matter where the game's being played. It doesn't even matter if over half of his roster is eligible, like we saw in the COVID year. Like he had like 30 players sit out, and we still
couldn't do it.
This is one of those lines that we're talking about. We saw it open up at 4.5 on some books, and it's just continues to climb and climb. I'm seeing 9.5 on a lot of books. Bet MGM has it for 9.5. ESPN Bet, if you have that app, you can still get an 8.5. Yeah.
It's wild. I've seen today, right before the show, 7.5. Yeah, like you were saying, 9.5. You think it gets up into double digits? I mean, is the confidence there?
On our prediction show earlier this week, I thought, okay, this is going to be a game where Nebraska will have a fourth quarter drive, and we're going to score a late touchdown. But it's not going to be to win the game. It's to secure it, to put it away, go up by 2 scores. And
cover.
If I feel that way, then yes, I think we can win by 10. Do I like betting on it, though? With the body of work we've seen this week? I don't know about that. But if I'm sticking with my prediction, I do think there's plenty of reasons to say that Nebraska can and should cover this game. Here's where I'm looking at it. Everyone you talk to, Minnesota's average. They got an average defense, an average secondary, an average pass rush, and I believe our offense is above average. You also flip the ball around to the other side. I think our defense is emerging. We've always had a great pass defense. They have another freshman quarterback that's not mobile, very average, and I feel like we're above average. So put all that together, I think we should win on 2 scores. The detractors, pretty obvious, right? 2 road games in a row, short week, Friday night. But I like to say this. Both teams have to play on Friday night.
That's right.
I know they don't have to travel, but it's not like this long, strenuous travel either. We're not going to L.A. We're not going to Maryland or Rutgers, Piscataway. We're not doing that. We're just driving right up the road, I-35, to Minneapolis.
And it's my understanding that the Gophers, their transportation to the stadium is by boats. They're rowing, right? Isn't that the thing?
Rowing the boat?
Yeah. So that's got to take a lot of energy out of them. But no, their defense, if there's anything to give credit to, it's that they do rank 20th in college football in turnover margin at +5. They've been very opportunistic there, and that their rush defense has improved. It's not good, like you were saying. It's average. But it has improved. With that being said, Emmett Johnson is looking forward to this football game.
Mr. Minnesota, not even recruited, not even a sniff from the University of Minnesota. And all of his pressers, and everybody's interviewing him this week, including my guy, Jake Bartek, our guy that gives us the NASCAR picks. He straight up asked him, well, come on. They didn't even, trying to get something out of him. He's just played it right down the middle, between the lines. No, I'm just excited. Yeah, family will be there. Yeah, right. Yeah. You're playing off your career high, 21 carries, 170 some odd yards. He's the number 2 leading rusher in the Big Ten. Yeah,
he's putting together what could be an all-time season when it's all said and done. He's putting together a resume that can be unmatched. And that's saying something coming from Nebraska, right? But he's got that extra motivation. He's got the family. It's going to be one of those games. This is the most he will have personal people watching from the stands. This is going to be fun to watch him run.
And just that alone, doesn't that feel like, okay, that's worth 3 points, isn't it?
It's got to be.
That can get us there. That can get us over there. You talk about the turnover margin, and there's something to that, being an opportunistic defense. There's also the other side of the coin where things tend to go back to the median. And I also feel it's that way on the Nebraska side. Do you really think Dylan Raiola is going to throw 3 interceptions again?
No, I
do
not.
You really think a dialed-in Emmett Johnson is going to put the ball on the turf, knock on wood? No, I don't.
No.
So I'm putting all these factors together, and I think Nebraska can win by 2 scores. Give it to me. Give me that. I'm looking at some 7.5s. I like that.
Yeah, and this is the thing. These 2 teams have either had really close games that we have lost at the end.
Yes.
Or we've been blown out. Right, where they've just taken it to us. I don't see us getting blown out by any means by this team, okay?
No.
Like you said, the confidence that the Huskers have this season will not waver to the point that we get blown out by an average Minnesota team.
Right.
With that being said, if we're not taking it to them, but we're putting together a 6, 7, 8 type lead, do we then start to get those scores that can put us towards the over? Because I don't see Minnesota scoring a lot of points here.
I really don't. I'm looking at a 46.5 on a few books over here. Is that where you're at?
Yeah, I've seen 47.5, but 46, 47.
And it's another one of those numbers that just keeps creeping up. Because if you think Nebraska can win by more than 4, more than 5.5, more than 6.5, that means the total has to go up too, doesn't it?
Correct.
And that's exactly what we're seeing. And I guess I have to ride the same horse, make the same point. If I'm this confident in our offense, and I am, then yes, I think we can feel pretty good about that over.
Yeah, I'm loving Dylan having a bounce back week.
Yeah.
Emmett, I'm
He's on fire.
smiling
Yep.
from
You
what
know,
he's going to do this week.
And people are still talking. Like I think it's just you get caught in a rut. We're at midseason, right? And so like all these shows have the same bullet points each and every day. What about Nebraska's offensive line? What about that rushing game? When we have to run the ball, can we run the ball? It's yes. We run it better than every other team in the Big Ten except for Ohio State.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. The answer is yes.
So-
there isn't issues. There was questions early on.
Yeah.
But there is no more question. The success and the data has been put to rest there.
Yeah, just that one guy, Haynes or whatever his name is from Michigan. I'd like to forget about him. I think he's the only guy that has a slight edge as far as yardage and attempts over Emmett Johnson. Which, when you're talking attempts, that's fine with me. If we're keeping him at about 20 carries or maybe a little less per game.
And speaking of Ohio State, Minnesota absolutely manhandled by Ohio State. Not many teams are, right?
Right.
But it was 60-3, something like that. If that gives you any kind of matchup of where we would stack up. I mean, we just about took care of Michigan, and then how would we be sitting right now? We'd be at 25th, probably in the top 15 right now. And that Michigan game, I'm glad you brought that up. That kind of speaks to that point that I'm trying to hammer home, is that this team doesn't quit. When we get twice, we were down 2 weeks in a row, and we were able to come back in the second half and get it done. And it's been on both a couple different ways where against Michigan State, didn't we have 2 10-point leads? Correct.
And let those go away? But then we're able to bounce back. We're seeing that resiliency. We're seeing that little bit of moxie, and go back to it, confidence. We're seeing confidence on both sides of the ball. And with Minnesota, they've had our number. Not this year.
Not this time.
All right, you heard the horn. That means we're up against it. But let's take a minute to recognize one of our longtime and favorite sponsors. Kind of a somber note here. If you guys follow Nebraska Brewing Company on X or any of the socials, you will know that they're closing the door Sunday.
That's sad.
Yeah, they were going through it a little bit financially. Some things didn't work out or pencil out for them. They filed bankruptcy, and they just couldn't turn it around. So I went and met with the guys earlier this week. Got my favorite beer here, Wick for Brains Pumpkin Ale, my favorite pumpkin ale. And I mean, I was talking to Paul and his son Connor and Dylan, and I almost couldn't hold together. I felt bad, so I can only imagine what those guys are going through, because I think that brewery's been around for 18, 19 years in La Vista, Omaha area.
And has
Nebraska.
done so much for the community.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you talk about some of the things they support. They're heavily involved with veterans. So they're going to be missed. They're going to be missed on a whole nother level. Past couple of years, not this year, but past couple, they've always been a really good friend of the show, loading us up with some brews. And we've been doing our best by them. So one more time, Nebraska Brewing Company, world class in every glass. Don't go anywhere. This is WTF.